You only have one life to live, so get the most out of it. On Good Life, Great Life, join me, Brian Highfield, and my guests as we share success stories, habits, mindsets, and lessons learned by successful people. These lessons are not taught in schools, but are critical for getting ahead in life. Whether you want a successful business or career, optimal health, or a lifestyle that most people just dream of, Good Life, Great Life has you covered. After retiring from a successful corporate career in my 40s, I founded multi-million-dollar businesses in the sports and healthcare arenas. Now, I help everyday people maximize their lives and speak regularly at seminars, on podcasts, and radio shows to share principles on the topics of health, wealth, and happiness. Don't let a good life get in the way of a great life. Join me today on Good Life, Great Life. Well, welcome to another episode of Good Life, Great Life. And we have with us today Mr. Adit Jain. Welcome to the program, Adit.
Hey, Brian, thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. So Adit is the co-founder of Leena AI. And Leena AI was founded with the belief that artificial intelligence can transform the way enterprises work. So Adit, give our audience a little bit about your background and what led you to co-founding Leena AI.
Oh, absolutely, Brian. So, this is back when I was doing my undergrad. Interestingly, I met two of my co-founders who were in the same dorm room where we were actually completing our undergrad. So, we did a lot of projects together. We did a lot of courses together. We did something in automatic content summarization as a project. And then we did something in face recognition as a project. So come 2015, when we were completing our undergrad, we thought that, hey, we actually work together really well as a team. And, we should try and do something of our own. So while we had job offers back in 2015, we decided to try and do something of our own, took the risk, took the plunge. And, 7 years later, I have no regrets. It's been an amazing journey. We initially started off with a platform called ChatterOn, which was a horizontal platform that enabled anyone to create chatbots without writing a single line of code, right? So like we saw that scale from zero to over 30,000 businesses who started using ChatterOn to build chatbots for their websites, Facebook Messenger pages, Twitter handles, for all kinds of use cases like marketing, sales, even internal use cases like IT and HR. And that's essentially where we stumbled upon the idea of Leena AI as a Siri for the enterprise, Siri for employees, right? And 2018 till date, we have scaled Leena AI as an enterprise Siri or Siri for employees from zero to over 350 global customers, including likes of Coca-Cola, Lafarge Holcim, Sony, Puma, Vodafone, Nestle, P&G. We have scaled our team from 3 people, just the founders, to over 500 people globally. And we have raised over $40 million in venture funding from the likes of Bessemer Venture Partners, Greycroft, and Y Combinator. So quite a journey, and looking forward to the coming 5-10 years as well.
I mean, that's just super impressive to go from there. And let's start from the very beginning. Let's talk about that moment when you got together with these buddies. I mean, was this over a beer and just someone says, "Hey, I've got a crazy idea"? I mean, how did that all come together?
Well, absolutely. So, one of the guys, was actually using Vodafone as their, cell phone carrier. And, they waited half an hour to fix a $1 bill issue on their monthly bill, right? Half an hour, because there was nobody who was coming online to, pick up on the other end. No executive, no associate was picking up the call, right? From a support call center. So, over late night drinks, he was frustrating. He was talking about his frustrations, and we thought, okay, like technology exists today that humans should not have to do this, like should not have to pick up the call and answer simple questions, right, or solve simple problems. So that's the birth of ChatterOn, and that's where we thought, okay, let's automate away all support in the world using AI, and that's where we built ChatterOn, the platform.
So talk about some of those early challenges. I mean, what were some of the hurdles that you really had to overcome to get this business up and running? Or was everything sunshine and rainbows? I mean, was there any challenges or roadblocks?
Many. So the business today, Leena AI, is like a Siri for the enterprise. So from Chatter on, we pivoted on to build Leena AI, which is specifically focused virtual assistant for employees, right? How can I help employee in Coca-Cola, access HR information quickly, IT help quickly, right? So that's what we do today. So as you see, over the last 7 years, we have completely changed what we do, right? So of course, it was a tough journey. So the first 2 years, while we got a lot of businesses to start using Chatteron to build chatbots, the problem was that we weren't making enough money, right? People were not moving on to the paid plan, they were just using the free plans, right? So that's where we started looking at every paying customer to try and understand, okay, what is it that they are trying to achieve, the paying customers, right? So we realized that there is this small segment of 1,000 plus employee companies who's using Chatteron to build internal HR and IT bots, right? Now at that time, mind you, we were out of college undergrad. We had zero idea what HR and IT really does. So we spent like 6 months trying to figure that out. So we called up all of those customers who were using Chatteron to build internal HR and IT bots to just figure out, okay, hey, what are you guys using it for? Like, what does this mean, right? And what we realized, Brian, was that as organizations grow, there is a lack of access to information, and people just spend time finding information, right? So to solve that problem, we launched Leena AI as an employee virtual assistant, or like a buddy for the employee for everything they need in the organization, right? So and even after that, we've gone through multiple pivots, but yeah, this was one of the defining moments of our own journey of the last 7 years, Brian.
Awesome. Now, how did you go out and find these clients? What was your marketing strategy in the beginning?
Absolutely. So as we launched Leena AI as a city for the enterprise, we were targeting CHROs, primarily initially, right? Chief Human Resource Officers of 1,000 plus employee companies. That was our target segment. So what we did, Brian, was we realized that, okay, we are just a 3 people company, right? Nobody's going to trust us out off the bat. So nobody's going to sign $100,000 contract, a 100K contract, just because we are us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what we did is we used to go to these guys and we used to say, okay, is this a problem for you? And when they said yes, we'd say, great, we're going to do a quick pilot of 3 months and show you the value of the solution. If after that you think there's value, you come in a 12-month contract with us. If not, then you can just stop using it, right? And we'd like literally get into these $5,000-10,000, not more than that, just 5K 10K USD pilots. That's it. And we did a bunch of those. Like we did like first 15-20 customers. We just got by doing pilots after pilots after pilots. So one big learning for us, Brian, was if you're going after like medium to large customers and you are a small startup at the beginning, you should never try and go to them, okay, sign us a $200,000 contract. Never, right? You should just say, I'll come in. If this is a big enough problem for you, give me a $5,000 pilot. I'll prove my worth to you, and then we can do something bigger together. That
Yeah,
was
and
like a chance.
I think those are good lessons because you're first of all you're trying to solve a problem that they're having, right? So you're asked that's your first question. They're like, is this a problem?
Yep.
And it's a simple yes or no. If they say yes, then you're kind of like, it's almost like a free sample. It's not free. They're paying a little bit, but
Yep.
it's kind of like, hey, it's free. Let's sample this and see if it solves your problem. And if it does, great. If it doesn't, no hard feelings. And you said you did a bunch of them. So you kind of cast a wide net there. And I'm sure not everybody signed on, but it sounds like enough saw value that they signed on, and you were able to expand from that.
Yeah, actually, at Leena, we haven't lost a pilot in our lives.
Really?
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah. So, in the early days, I used to do it myself. I used to sell, and then I used to do all the customer success myself, right? Of course. So, it's amazing what an entrepreneur's will can do to the entire business, right? So number one was, I think, Brian, one good learning that I can share with you,
Mm-hmm.
chose our customers properly, right? So we never went and did pilot with a company which is 200 people strong, right? Even if the CHRO of the 200 people company said that, okay, no, this is a problem for me too, we said, okay, no, we don't want to do a pilot with you because we know that your problem is not going to be big enough. So you're
Yeah.
probably not going to invest in it as much during the pilot, because see, apart from the money, apart from the 5K 10K USD pilot, it's also about the time that their time is a bigger investment than the money, right? So I know that for people with more than 1,000 employees, this is a big problem. Their HR teams keep getting calls all the day, right? Okay, why is my pay stub? Why is my salary less? Why are my taxes high, right? How do I add a dependent to my insurance policy? Their HR teams keep getting those questions. So we had nailed the problem that, okay, definitely 1,000+ employee companies have that problem, which is much, like, for them it is a bigger problem than for a 200 employee company. So that's why I said, we chose our pilot audience very, very carefully. We did not say yes to people who were like 200 employees. No, we said no, that okay, no, not right now, maybe we'll come to you later, right? And by the way, till date, we haven't ever went to 200 employee companies. We
Wow.
only sell 1,000+ employee companies, right? Because we
Yeah.
know that it's a bigger problem for them. It's not a big enough problem. So I think the lesson here and the learning here is that you need to, in the conversations before you actually start doing the pilots, you need to understand who is it a problem for. What I often see entrepreneurs doing is that they'll say, okay, let's just do it with everybody and we'll figure it out. But don't waste your time, talk to them. I'm not saying that you should not talk to them, you should definitely talk to everybody, but then figure out who is that 1% of the audience which is definitely going to have the problem that you're going to try and solve, right? And who is it the biggest pain point for, and just go and do it for them initially. After that, as you grow, after you have got 10, 15, 20 customers, you can then grow left, right, and center. That's not a problem. Then you
Mhm.
can come back and service other people as well. But initially, the time spent by entrepreneurs and founders has to be very focused, extremely narrow focused, for you to win in the long term.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You really got hyper focus on your target market. That's a big enough problem. They're willing to spend the money on the problem, and I think that's really, really smart. So while we're on the topic, what are some big revelations or some big lessons learned from growing your business that you would share with aspiring entrepreneurs?
Absolutely. So I think one of the biggest learning has been this, while you're in the process of understanding what you want to do, make sure you speak to people, understand their problems. So a lot of time, first time entrepreneurs, this is what we also did. First time entrepreneurs, they create technology and then they find a problem, right?
Yeah.
So they create a solution and then they find a problem. This is exactly what we did with Chatter on, by the way, right? And I think that's very bad. It wastes a lot of time. So as a first time entrepreneur, the biggest thing that you can do right is figure out what market and what problem do you want to solve. The solution will be built later. So you realize, okay, I want sales leaders to save, to convert more leads, right? That's a problem you can work backwards from, right? That's a problem you need to solve. Don't say that, okay, I have created this tool, let's try and sell it to anybody who it can solve problem for, because then you end up being nothing for nobody. That is one biggest learning, and actually that's a rule at Leena AI now. So every product we launch, Brian, what we do is we say sell first, build later. So it goes sell first, build, because if someone is ready to even give you a 5K contract for a pilot, or if 3 or 5 people are ready to give you a 5K contract for a pilot, that means it's a big enough problem for them. If the pilot goes well, they'll definitely pay more, and definitely there's a bigger market as well. So the rule of the thumb here at Leena AI, whenever we do a new product, is sell first, build later.
Yeah, because especially with software and technology today, you can probably produce something fairly quickly, and a lot quicker today than I was in IT 20 some 30 years ago, where it took months to develop stuff, and now it's more like days to weeks.
Yeah, now with Figma and Adobe XD, you can actually get like prototypes and wireframes and how it's going to look in days, like
Yeah.
hours, not even days, hours.
Yeah, and so I think, again, just kind of reiterate your lesson there is like figure out what the problem is before you actually come with the solution out there. And so you're selling, you figure out the problem, sell the solution, and then go build it, rather than trying to throw a dart at the dartboard and build something that may not apply and solve the customer's problem.
Exactly. And interestingly, over 95% of first time entrepreneurs will still do this. And I can only hope that some of them hear this and not do this mistake, not make this
Yeah.
mistake.
So what's next? I mean, you grew from 3 people to over 500 people, and what was the total amount in funding? I couldn't say if you said 14 or 40 million. What was that number?
40.
40 million. That's very impressive. It's very, very impressive. That's really cool. So what's next? So what's the next big thing to either grow this company, or what's your outlook?
No, absolutely. So I'm very bullish on the entire industry itself. So if you think about it, where we stand is like the anti help desk or anti shared services kind of market. We say, so our philosophy is very simple, Brian. We say that in the enterprises today, uh, you know all support as an employee, all services as an employee that I need, you know should not require a human. It should be instant, on my fingertips, on mobile, wherever I am, whenever I need, I should be able to access those services, and I should not need to have to raise a ticket or to go to someone. So we basically want to obliterate all kinds of help desk. There is IT help desk, HR help desk, finance help desks, reimbursement help desk, whatever, right? Travel help desks, all help desks, by using AI and automation. So I think it's going to be a large $500 billion play industry over the next 5-7 years. And I've spent 7 years in this conversational AI industry. I'm easily going to spend 7 to 10 more and see it through.
Yeah, and I think there's a huge market for that. I mean, I hate talking to people. I just do, you know. And so if I and we all got used to just having instant access to information too. So if we have an issue, we want to solve it as quickly as possible without, waiting on hold or interacting with a human being and having that solution at our fingertips. So I think you're exactly right.
Slow. If my laptop is working slow, I should not have to wait for 1 hour for the engineer to come in and then take a screen sharing session and then figure it out for me, right?
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we do, Brian. We are going to completely automate support for employees in large companies, be it HR, IT, admin, finance, procurement, whatever. We're going to automate it away.
So let's switch gears a little bit. Talk about your work-life balance and your lifestyle. I mean, you've grown a successful company, and I don't know if are you the type of person that you're just all work, or are you trying to balance your work play environment?
So mostly all work kind of a person, but yeah, recently I've changed that. Started spending. I realized I was growing a little unhealthy, specifically physically, getting fat and all. So understood and have started working. So for the past few months now, I have made a routine to hit the gym 6 days a week, and whatever may come, you'll find me in the gym 6 days a week for
Yeah.
1 hour for sure.
No, and that's great. And it's funny because I saw a short little clip of Gary Vaynerchuk one time, and then someone asked him, they said, "Hey, how important is health for your business?" And he said, "Well, if you don't have your health, you're out of business."
Absolutely.
So what about other lifestyle? I mean, has being an entrepreneur, being successful in this business, what type of options do you now have that you didn't have before?
A lot of them. So yeah, I can frankly work out of anywhere. So we have people in the US, in Europe, in Middle East. So one, you have the option and the liberty to live wherever you want globally, right?
Yeah.
Uh, that's a great advantage because I like to travel, and we have customers all across the globe as well. So you can actually travel and go see them and also enjoy on the side. The second is your hours are also, sometimes it can get crazy. So if you don't know how to manage it, it can get extremely crazy because with global presence also comes a lot of responsibility, right? With 500 folks, there's also responsibility increase that happens. And, if you don't know how to manage it, you'll end up working 20 hours a day and not stop ever, right? And, if you don't have health, you don't have anything. You don't have a business to run, right? So uh, I, it also took some time for me to understand that. But yes, now, I have strict guardrails on what I do and what I don't, what is important, what is not, what can wait and what cannot, because technically everything is always on fire. When a business goes, everything is always priority number one. So you have to learn what is important and what is not. You have to let some things go, and learn to live yourself as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, you talked about, living wherever you want to live, and that's why we moved to Florida instead of being up north in Ohio and battling winters, and just just having more options than what you had before. And so it sounds like you're doing really well. I mean, your business obviously is doing super well. And you made some lifestyle changes. You look happy, you sound happy. I love everything that you're doing. How can our audience get in touch with you or learn more about Leena AI?
Absolutely. So if anyone wants to get in touch, I'm available at adit@leena.ai. That's my email. Shoot me a message and I'd be happy to chat up.
Awesome. And we'll have those links, that email, along with the podcast as well. So Adit, thank you so much for being with us today. This has been really fun for me, and I know our audience enjoyed it as well.
Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you for having me. Have a great day, everyone.
Absolutely. You too.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Good Life, Great Life, brought to you by Brian Highfield. We hope you enjoyed listening to this week's guests and stories. If you like what you've heard, please consider subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts.